I'm Jennifer Saavedra, and you're listening to Radio DTE. The recent Biodiversity Summit in Nagoya, Japan ended with 193 countries agreeing to an international protocol on how to regulate access and benefit sharing of genetic resources. The protocol has been created to prevent a company or organization from accessing a country's natural resources without sharing in the benefits of having produced a product based off of these resources. For instance, let's say a French company buys a plant from an African country such as Cameroon. This French company researches the plant and finds that it is fantastic for hair growth. The French company then creates a hair product based off of this plant and makes a lot of money from it. But what about that indigenous community that nurtured this plant? Should it get a share of the profits or some sort of benefit from this hair product? Senior Down-to-Earth editor Latha Jishnu explains what the Access and Benefit Sharing Protocol says concerning such issues. Hi Latha.
Hi Jennifer.
So what does the Biodiversity Agreement say concerning access and benefit sharing, and how will it affect countries like India?
What the protocol has done is lay a groundwork of sharing, how companies which use these resources must give back part of the profits to the communities which have been conserving it.
So this agreement, particularly what it says concerning access and benefit sharing, is this a fair deal?
One of the immediate reactions was from the spokesperson of the IP division of the bio industry. Bio is an organization of the biotech industry. And one of the things she said was, her name is Lila Fees, and she says it's going to put a chill in all R&D, particularly because the text of this agreement speaks of retrospective compensation for communities.
What's retrospective compensation?
Supposing there's been a drug that's been doing very well based on a plant resource got from, say, the Cameroons, and it's been making tidy profit for the last 30 years, part of the profit would have to be shared with that community.
So I also read that this agreement is not legally binding. What does that mean, and how will the protocol be enforced?
What happens next is each of those countries has to go back and ratify this, which means their governments, their parliaments have to ratify the agreement. And after that, each country has to have its own biodiversity regulations, laws. Not many have it. India does have one. It's been in force for the past 6 years. And one of the most critical aspects here is the fact that the biggest user of natural resources, of biodiversity in the world, the US, is not one of the parties. It hasn't signed the Convention on Biodiversity. So the effort now should be to make the US sign this. Otherwise, I think any protocol could become meaningless.
If the US doesn't sign it?
Yes.
Why is the US so important in?
Because it's the biggest user of natural resources. And it's American companies which use these and make the largest number of products, whether it's in pharmaceuticals, industrial products, or even cosmetics. The US reluctance is a major stumbling block, and India, which is going to chair the next meeting of the CBD in 2012, which it's going to be held in India. And India says the major effort will be to enforce this through other pacts like the World Trade Organization, and to make the best efforts to get the US to sign this. We'll see how lucky they are.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Latha.
Thanks, Jennifer. Good talking to you.
You too. So what's next? What's your next column going to be on?
I'm going to be writing on how India's own law on protecting biodiversity has worked. And it's not going to be a very happy report, I suspect.
Okay, so we'll definitely keep a lookout for that, and we'll have a chat on that as well.